It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Living Daily, episode 290. Excerpts from the book Essential by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus of the Minimalists.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Hopefully this will be the last day for a while that I play you excerpts from a book. Not that it's bad, it's actually a really good book, but I like to vary things up for you and read from lots of different blogs as often as possible, so I'm hoping we'll be back to normal tomorrow, but no promises yet. I'm still recovering from being sick and catching up with work. But anyway, I am very happy that FreshBooks has sponsored today's episode. They just launched an all-new version of their cloud accounting software. You can get a month to use all of their features for free, no credit card necessary, if you come by freshbooks.com/living and enter Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. But for now, let's hear more from the minimalist book Essential and keep optimizing your life.
Getting rid of just-in-case items. We often hold on to things just in case we need them. We don't let go because we might need something in some far-off, non-existent hypothetical future, and we pack too much stuff for trips and vacations just in case. We needn't hold on to these things just in case. The truth is, we rarely use our just-in-case items, and so they sit there, take up space, get in the way, weigh us down. Most of the time, they aren't items we need at all. Instead, if we remove the just-in-case items from our lives, we can get them out of the way. We can free up the space they consume. Over the last few years, the two of us let go of the vast majority of our just-in-case possessions. And during our last tour, we made sure we didn't pack anything just in case. And then we tested our theory, the 20-20 rule. Anything we get rid of that we truly need, we can replace for less than $20 in less than 20 minutes from our current location. Thus far, this theory has held true 100% of the time. Although we've rarely had to replace a just-in-case item, fewer than 5 times for the two of us combined, we've never had to pay more than $20 or go more than 20 minutes out of our way to replace the item. This theory likely works 99% of the time for 99% of all items and 99% of all people, including you. More important, we haven't missed the hundreds of just-in-case items we've gotten rid of, and we didn't need to replace most of them. Getting rid of these items clears one's mind, frees up their space, and takes the weight off his or her shoulders. What are you holding on to just in case? 90-90 rule. Rules can be arbitrary, restrictive, boring, but they are often helpful when we hope to make a change. Whenever we attempt to simplify our lives, we often get stuck before we get started. When faced with a horde of possessions, some useful, others not, it is difficult to determine what serves a purpose and what we're holding on to just in case, which makes letting go nearly impossible without some sort of rules to move us in the right direction. Here's one that has worked for us. Look at a possession. Pick something. Anything. Have you used that item in the last 90 days? If you haven't, will you use it in the next 90? If not, then it's okay to let go. Maybe your rule isn't 90 days. Maybe it's 120. Maybe it's 6 months. Whatever your rule, be honest with yourself. If your material possessions don't bring you joy, then they are likely in the way of a more intentional life. When Everything is Your Favorite Thing by Joshua Fields Millburn. When you get rid of most of your stuff, your life invariably changes. Without all the things in your way, you have the opportunity to focus on the most important aspects of your life. But there was also an unexpected benefit from my newly uncluttered life. Now I truly enjoy everything I own. Before I embraced minimalism, I had a lot of stuff. A 3-bedroom house teeming with stuff. A basement and a 2-car garage filled with boxes overflowing with stuff. Spare bedrooms and closets and cabinets jam-packed with stuff. Every nook, every cranny, more stuff. It was hard to keep track of it, and all that stuff added very little value to my life. It often just made me feel anxious, overwhelmed, and depressed. I was unhappy with the way I felt, so I started questioning everything I owned. Today, I don't own much, but the things I do own add immense value to my life. When I got rid of my extraneous material possessions, what remained were the things I use every day. Now nearly everything I own is my favorite thing. All my clothes are my favorite clothes. All my furniture is my favorite furniture. All my possessions are my favorite possessions, all of which I enjoy every day of my life. How about you? What if you enjoyed everything you owned? How would it make you feel if you were surrounded by your favorite things every day? Favorite Clothes of a Minimalist by Joshua Fields Millburn. Quote, "Look at all those fancy clothes, but these gonna keep us warm just like those. Jack Johnson. What does a minimalist wear? I'm surprised I get this question as often as I do, as if people expect to see me walking around in a loincloth, but given the many misconceptions surrounding minimalism, I suppose it's a valid question. My answer? A minimalist wears his or her favorite clothes every day. Most days I wear jeans, a t-shirt, and a pair of boots. Or when I feel like it, I wear a crisp white button-up shirt, jeans, a blazer, colorful socks, and a clean pair of dress shoes. I avoid logos because I don't enjoy being a walking billboard. I don't have many clothes now, and I still go to the Goodwill a few times a month to donate an item or two. If I'm not wearing it anymore, it gets donated. But I thoroughly enjoy the clothes I own. I don't, however, give sentimental meaning to my clothes. If all my clothes burned in a house fire tomorrow, it wouldn't be a big deal to me. Quote, what about those shoes you're in today? They'll do no good on the bridges you burnt along the way. Jack Johnson. Spill Bleach on Your Wardrobe by Joshua Fields Millburn. What if you spilled bleach on half your wardrobe? What would you do? Some hypothetical questions are so ridiculous we dismiss them as absurd, laughable queries. Sadly, though, the above question is not purely hypothetical. After returning home from the final leg of our recent tour, fatigued and murky-headed from cross-country traversing, I separated my dirty laundry into appropriate piles, prepping each color-coded assemblage for its usual rinse and spin cycles. Then, unknowingly and stupidly, I spilled a bottle of liquid bleach on literally half the clothes, staining the floor-strewn heaps, instantly ruining the majority of my wardrobe. I was shocked by two things. First, I was shocked by my brainlessness. How could I make such a ridiculous mistake? Truth be told, I simply wasn't paying attention. There's no other explanation. If there's a lesson to be learned here, it's that attention must be paid, even during the most mundane tasks. Second, I was shocked I wasn't more horrified by my idiotic mistake. I should be outraged, right? 2 years ago, I would have been pissed. I would have fumed angrily and cursed the ceiling and hurled various breakable objects at one or more of my apartment's walls. But last week, as sodium hypochlorite soaked through my threads, I didn't react obnoxiously. Instead, I realized I couldn't control everything. I took a few deep breaths, snatched a mop from my closet, and started cleaning the mess I'd made. The sooner we clean up our mess, the sooner we can move on with life. Sure, half my attire is ruined, but everything's fine. I'll replace some of the clothes if I need to, but my closet isn't upset, and nor should I be. Those clothes were just clothes, replaceable things that don't have any more meaning than the meaning I give to them. There's no case in crying over spilt milk, or in this case, spilt bleach.
You just listened to an excerpt from the book Essential by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus of the Minimalists.com. Once again, I'm happy to say that this episode has been sponsored by FreshBooks, who I use for my business accounting. It's crazy. It's been reported that 1 in 3 Americans is self-employed now. I'm one of those people, and maybe you are too, even if it's just on the side to make extra money. I know plenty of people who do that. The trend is growing. It could be well over 40% of people by 2020. But the internet and the world really were not built to support self-employed people. The tools and accounting services have to be changed to meet this demand. And FreshBooks is one of those companies that has stepped up and really understands what it's like for us small business owners and freelancers. They've made it super easy for us to deal with our everyday paperwork, and they've redesigned FreshBooks recently from the ground up so that it matches exactly how we work. Come by and check it out for yourself. You don't need a credit card, and you can try out all their features for a month thanks to their support of this show. Just come by freshbooks.com/living and enter Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. And that is it for today. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with some fresh new blog posts to read to you. We'll see. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com, that's OLDpodcast.com, for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.